Hey, what is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Wanted to give you an update, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, some interesting things in the charts. But first things first, please leave a like if you enjoyed the content and check out the trading tournament with BITGET down below. Really good promo going on right now with my link down below if you're interested. So yeah, check that out. Also, please follow my Twitch. Really would appreciate it. Trying to get to 1,000 followers. Live streams are exclusively on Twitch now. Probably will be a bit more active next week. Was busy with the holidays and everything. I'm kind of taking it easy this week, but hopefully into the new year, I will definitely be a lot more active. So yeah, check it out. Now let's get into the analysis. I want to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, the DXY is looking very weird right now. S&P 500, NASDAQ briefly, and also XRP and Doge here as well, because those look like they could really crash quite a bit. Now, the first thing I want to talk about on Bitcoin right now is the money flow coming out in the 3 weeks. So this is kind of the first time that we're ever going to see the money flow probably in the red in the 3 week. Now the odds that we're going to come into the red, even if we already bottomed out, let's say, are very high just because it's such a high time frame, kind of delayed. Now, I think when we get into the red and confirm there, we could get there, you know, in the next bar or two towards the middle to end of January. It could be pretty soon if we do crash down quickly to like 11K or 13K. But I do think once we get into that red on the 3 week, that's going to be a good place to probably DCA in for, you know, a good 6-month period or so, 10-month period, just like what I was showing you guys for a while for the long term. I mean, it's important right now. This confirms in 2 days in the red on the 2 week here. It's important to have a long-term strategy because that's, you know, really good for building that foundation with Bitcoin. And, you know, right here, about a 10-month DCA period. And the same thing right here, you did come into the green a little bit, but a good 10-month period. So I don't see any reason to believe that, you know, DCAing in for the next kind of 10 months starting in the next few days wouldn't be a bad idea. I think we will, even though, let's say worst case scenario, bottom is at like 4K or 5K or something in the summer or later in 2023, you'll still probably be DCAing in during that time, which is going to be a pretty good position for the next bull run, assuming we do have a pretty good next bull run and get close to all-time highs or make new all-time highs. So yeah, moving on to you know, kind of some of the lower time frames here. So the weekly VWAP is, you know, curving back around. You're about to get a red dot there and come deeper kind of into the red. And you know, I think obviously here in terms of this money flow, you had already bottomed out. I believe the same thing. Yeah, same thing with we're exactly at the place kind of where you bottomed out in terms of that money flow. A little after it maybe in terms of that money flow in 2015. But if you look at the 6-day right here, this is important to keep an eye on, especially with the yellow X printing right now. This is why I'm not going for any longs right now. We'll talk about, you know, why we could come up a little bit, but there's a strong case, and if you want my opinion, there's a strong case to be made that we could bottom out pretty soon. We could capitulate down pretty soon to 11K or something like that within the next, you know, 1 to 2 months here. More likely next 4 to 6 weeks really, and get another, maybe one more yellow X after this one, 4 yellow X's, then the next bullish div here gives us what we need for kind of the bear market bottom, and then you're kind of home free. And what you want to look for too is the money flow to be getting deeper here. Once we get deeper, and this was, you know, a few weeks to get deeper there, you come down to, I don't know, where's 11K right there, have a capitulation down to that point in the next couple weeks, next couple months. That's going to be a really, really good place to get in, I think. And, you know, a lot of things, that's the first time we've even seen yellow X's in this time frame, but kind of similar to this area too, where we are. Look at that money flow right there. That's right where you were, you know, coming down the roller coaster, you know, before the end of this. So it would be, you know, a few more weeks, a couple more months at the most to get down to those areas. So that's going to be huge right there. And I mean, if you map this out in terms of the yellow X's here, in terms of where we could end up, I mean, my guess is it could be more like this one. You know, it could be, I don't know about 40%. 40% is obviously pretty rough, but, you know, mid 30s based on that money flow crossover, especially on the 2 weeks. So right here, and this is going to come in with your, I want us to look at the 500 weekly moving average here. Let me set this to 500. And this is going to be a huge place. Yeah, 11.2K, which I think if I had to guess for the bottom, I would say it's probably going to be here. Obviously, no one could really predict it with full accuracy, but that's what I think. Now, for more of the short term a little bit, you know, 2-day, I think once this comes into the red here, I think this is going to be a pretty good short opportunity. You know, we've been choppy with the money flow here, just coming in and out of the red, but I think once we get into the red here, I think you're going to come deeper, And I think once you get pretty deep here, January into February maybe, that's going to probably be your bottom most likely. The only thing we have to worry about is if it keeps following the S&P 500 downward into the summer or even later into 2023, that's where you kind of get your really low predictions like 6K, 7K, 5K, those areas. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's a strong case to be made that Bitcoin will act more like gold and bottom out before the S&P 500. So you do have the LX on the 10 hour right here. This is confirmed. This one didn't really give you what you needed. It came up a little bit, but now you're still choppy. I mean, nothing's really happened in the past, in the past month, over a month now, month and a half for Bitcoin. These are usually, they kind of bring you down, kind of in between here. I mean, yeah, it's been a while since one of these really gave you what you needed, which may make it a little bit more likely that you'll get what you need, and this will bring you down. This combined with the 6-day yellow X, like the 6-day higher time frame yellow X's are going to be much more powerful. So that's the reason why I would be kind of hesitant to take the long off of this bullish div. Now, I'm not saying this isn't a good trade, and I'm not saying we can't come back up to like 16.8 to take this potential long. It would be a good hedge on some of your bets to probably take it when it does confirm, in 44 minutes, but be very cautious with the 6-day yellow X, in my opinion. There's a high likelihood you just get up to this area, 16.6, and reject from the wedge. And you also do have a technical target. Let's look at where our technical target from this ascending wedge is, right at the spider line, approximately 14.4K. So you could end up there in the next few weeks, especially if the S&P 500 makes another leg down. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at right there. In terms of entering a short, so maybe the bottom of this range right here, 16.6 would be a good area. And after that, maybe right up here, 16.8, good areas to look for potential shorts. So let's move on to Ethereum here. Now, I wanted to show you guys the 12-day because I think this would be probably a pretty good. I mean, you can wait for the 2-week to obviously come into the red like Bitcoin for the DCA strategy. Typically, the cryptos are going to, Bitcoin and ETH are going to bottom out at the same time, but Bitcoin will outperform it for, it could be up to 9 months after they do bottom out. So, that's why I would look to, probably wait to start DCAing into ETH. So you could wait for the 2-week if you're a little bit more eager on ETH, if you really like ETH, not financial advice, but maybe wait for the 12-day to confirm in the red. And then this is about a October, about a 10-month period, something of that nature, 8-10 months. That area to, just DCA in when you're in the red and repeat that area. Especially if we come down a lot, which, especially with this weekly LX, you probably heard me mention before. I mean, this could bring us down a lot, 6 to 300, this range. If you're staying in that range for a while, that's an excellent DCA period for the next bull run. That's going to, highly likelihood that's going to be a really, really great time to get in. Same as Bitcoin here with the 2-day. I think this would probably be a pretty good short entry. I may be looking to add to my shorts once this crosses into the red. Right here on Ethereum, just coming into the red, and I think you're going to get deep into the red, and I think that could be a potential bottom into January or February. That's what I'm looking at right now. Also, your 12-hour coming into the red, 16-hour coming into the red. I think these could get deeper into the red here. I think you might be able to break downward relatively soon and test, 1100 again, or make a newer low at 1000 before capitulating downward quite a bit more. Now, you do have the bullish div on the 6-hour right here. I would be cautious, especially on a Friday, especially coming into the holiday, to go long right now. You might be, I mean, who knows? You might be able to come up to 1200 again, a few dollars, 1227 or something at this spiral line. But I'm a little bit more cautious right now, especially with how Bitcoin dominance looks. I've showed it a lot. It looks probably as bullish as possible. So if you're going to be going long, I would say probably more stick to Bitcoin rather than Ethereum. But yeah, and then the hourly right here coming up with the money flow. Yeah, it could be a potential good long entry if you're betting that we're going to come up. But the holiday coming up, I would definitely be careful. Got a lot of swing shorts in right now. A lot of them have profits locked in, so I'm happy about that. DXY, let's look at briefly on the daily. 1, 2, 3. Now it's 6 yellow X's. Usually when you have a lot of yellow X's like this, and then you get a bullish div, it starts to come up. This is very weird, and this could get a little bit scary because when you have the S&P 500 coming down like it's coming down today, and you have the Dixie coming down as well, the DXY coming down as well, that's a bad sign. That means inflation is going to come back. That's just not looking good at all for, the country, as a whole. That's just not looking good economically for things as a whole. I think ultimately we want to hope that this comes up and shows some strength. Because, when this is going down and the S&P 500 is going down, what's going to happen? Inflation's going up. The Fed's going to have to raise rates, but that's where things get really ugly, and you talk about, you know, depressions and really major things happening. But let's not get it too ahead of ourselves. Could be just a fluke. We could just pump up here, which is what I'm kind of hoping for. But yeah, it would be much better if we had the S&P 500 coming up while this was coming down. The fact that they're both coming down, that's not a good sign. S&P 500, just want to look at this briefly. Money flow coming out, a little trigger wave here, as bad as possible. Indicative that we continue lower for many months here, I would say. Same exact thing with the NASDAQ. You know, the highest time frame that looks really bad, like the S&P 500 one, is probably the 7 days, bad as possible. Blood diamond up there. On the weekly, I believe you have 2 blood diamonds or something. No, not in the weekly. And another time frame you do, I believe. But bad as possible in a lot of ways, indicative that we continue bearish for the macro here for the next few months. XRP and Dogecoin. So I want to talk about XRP first. I mean, look at this money flow on the 2-week here. This is one I am swing short on. This gave you a 70% correction. Not saying you're necessarily going to correct 70% here, but you know, you could come back down 50 to this area if we have a pretty big capitulation next month or so. So that's what I'm looking at right there. Also, I believe the daily did confirm a blood diamond right here. So this is just kind of textbook basic market size per strategy. Looks bad in all sorts of places, all sorts of ways. I'd be pretty surprised if this, you know, odds are very low that this comes above 37 cents here. It can, it definitely can, but anything could happen, but odds are pretty low. I think this is going to be coming down. This looks indicative of a whole market capitulation kind of. Dogecoin as well, kind of, you know, 2-week, you know, blood diamond. And it would be nice if we could see Dogecoin, you know, really capitulate here, really come down to like, you know, low areas. I'm talking like 2 cents. I'm talking, you know, 1 cent. If we could see that based on kind of this 2-week blood diamond right here, I think there's a good shot. You could absolutely come down, you know, absolutely see a market cycle, bear market bottom in the next month. That's what I'm looking for. Money flow coming out right here in the 2-day looks pretty beautiful for a short right now. So yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum look a little too conflicting. Look at altcoin trades, because altcoins are probably going to continue to bleed against Bitcoin for at least the next few months. All right, guys, that's all I got. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the link to BITGET down below for the competition and the deposit bonus. Check out my Twitch down below as well. If you're interested in learning how to trade, how I do my technical analysis, check out my trading course down below. A lot of people have really liked it. Show you some strategies, all that type of stuff, risk management, trading psychology. So yeah, check that out. And that should be everything, guys. Hope you have a great day and a happy new year. Goodbye.